Hey moms, how are you? I am live for the Wednesday talk. I had to delay it today because I went to the dentist, so I had my dentist appointment. Teeth are looking nice and clean, and that is part of self-care too. Keeping up with your body, with your face, with your body, walking, exercising in your teeth, because as you get older, you need to maintain, and self-care is everything, your entire body. So, it was a long appointment, and I'm finally in the grocery store parking lot because I'm going to do some groceries, because I've been in the mode where, like, if I'm at home, I'm at home, but if I go out, I'm going to try to do everything that I do. And so I was saying that today I'm going to tell you about what happened to me this morning. So this morning, we ran out of sourdough bread, which we all eat in the house for breakfast. And there was only two small pieces left. And usually as a mom, I say to myself, not now. I'll let my child have it. Somebody else can eat it. I'll find something else to eat. And I always sacrifice, because that's what we do. We always say, okay, there's one last piece, the kids can have it, or I don't want this because this child loves it. We just always, even if we want something, we don't go for it. We give it to somebody else, right? And that's great. But this morning, I really, really wanted that sourdough toast. So I took both the pieces of the toast, put them in the toaster, put on some butter, put on some honey, and I ate it. And you know what? I don't feel guilty. And while I was eating it, I was enjoying it, and I felt really good. I felt empowered. It might seem mean, but I felt like, you know what? If there are two pieces of toast left and I want it, I should be able to have it. I shouldn't have to always be like, I need to save it for them. They like it. There's no more in the home. What happens if it gets finished? If it gets finished, it gets finished. Now I'm going to the grocery store. They'll have their toast in the morning. But it was just really, really, I don't know, it just felt really good. And you guys might think I'm crazy or something, but having those pieces of toast and not saving it or giving it to somebody else, I felt like, I deserve it. It's mine. And I gave to myself. I gave what I wanted, and I didn't worry about anybody else but myself in that moment. And it's a little thing, and it's toast, but it really felt good. And then I gave them something else, and I was happier giving them something else because I got what I wanted. So this month, the entire box theme is self-giving. The items in the box are like tools to help you through the holidays. It might not be cosmetics or anything like that, but there are things that can help and really help you get your holiday time started, so that when you need to do something for yourself, you can. So it's kind of like gifts for yourself. That's what's in the box now. But this whole month, we are talking about giving. So you hear me say a lot about self-love, a lot about giving, a lot about being authentic. Those are words that I'm going to be using all month, because it really is important that you give to yourself. Because if you don't give to yourself, you're going to be fake to everybody else. You're just going to be doing it, be miserable, not be happy, and you're not going to be authentic. But when you give to yourself and you honor yourself and you self-love yourself, then everything you give out in the world will be true and authentic, because you are full. And you have to remember that nobody else can make you happy but you. The kids are older, they're off with their friends, they're going off to school, your spouse or partner or whoever is busy with their work and their life, and you have to start thinking about you, right? You need to think about you and what you want and what your needs are, and really honor yourself, because if you don't honor yourself, then you cannot be there for anyone else. And it's really a fake life. It's a fake everything if you are doing things with not your full heart, right? And if you're doing things to receive, because we should be doing things to give, always giving. And sometimes you might be giving, and then all of a sudden you're just like, all I'm doing is giving, all I'm doing is cooking, all I'm doing is cleaning, all I'm doing is taking care of everybody else, and nobody's thinking about me. Those feelings do happen. And if that happens, it's not anybody else's fault but your own. It's not anybody's fault that they're not giving you back, because you are giving to give. If you're not receiving, that's because you don't have control of your own emotions and your own giving. If you want to receive, give to yourself. And then you won't have that feeling of other people not giving you back, because you will be full with whatever you are doing. So today we're going to talk about, there's actually 7 things, but today we're going to talk about 3, and next week we'll talk about 4, because I don't like to bombard you with so many points. I want you to really think about the 3 that I'm going to talk about this week, and then the 4 next week. And these are 3 things that happen once you start honoring yourself and giving to yourself. Hello, Farhana. How are you? Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or you want to send an emoji, go for it. It's awesome. So what happens when you give to yourself? I'm going to tell you the 3 things this week and the 4 things next week, so you can practice and think about it, because I want to give you the tools. And as you know, when I talk on this group, I tell you things, I explain things, but if you want to go deeper into each point, you have to join the exclusive membership group, which is when you join the box, you get exclusive private membership, and we go deeper into each topic. But today is a really good topic. There are 3 really great things, and I'll do the best I can to explain, but to go deeper and to really get that understanding, you have to be a subscriber of my yoga or my subscription box. So that's the way it is. Love you all, but that's what I do. I like to get people deeper and give them good information and guide them. So number 1 is you start feeling more confident and in charge of yourself. So when you start giving to yourself, you become authentic. We talked about this, and I'll be talking about it all month. You become authentic because you are giving to yourself, because you are so full and you have so self-loved yourself that when you're giving to other people, you're doing it from the true inside of your heart, because you want to, and you want nothing back. And you start making empowering choices as well. You start feeling good. You start feeling stronger. You start doing what is empowering you, because you are so full and you are so confident in yourself that everything you do will now be empowering you, and you will give that empowerment to other people, and other people will see a change in you as well. Because when you give to yourself, you're self-loving. And the thing is that most of us are not self-loving. I've realized that most of us are actually very hard on ourselves and very cruel to ourselves, because we always think we're not enough. We always think we haven't done enough. If we make something and somebody doesn't like it, then we say, oh, our cooking is bad. We must have not done well. We're always like putting ourselves down. If you know you're a good cook and you make something delicious and it tastes delicious, and somebody says it's not good or it needs more salt, that's their issue. It's not your issue. We just think, oh, we're a bad cook, or nobody likes our cooking. We do that to ourselves. A lot of our burdens that we carry on ourselves are all in our head. We let other people define us and decide and tell us what we are good at and what we are not. That's because we don't give ourselves enough love, and we don't give ourselves enough encouragement, and we're not proud of ourselves. We wait for other people to say, I'm proud of you. You look so good in your outfit. You're such a nice person. You've got so many friends. We just wait for other people's approvals. So, also, self-love is also being around the right people. So many times we're not around the right people as well, and that can also affect the way you give. If you're around people who don't encourage you, who don't lift you up, who don't say go for it or ask you how you're doing, or on the surface. Like, I've noticed that as I get older, and I'm sure a lot of you also, is that you don't want those friends who are like, hey, how are you? Or, don't tell you things that connect you more. How are your kids? Oh, they're great. Okay, then you're like, okay, whatever. How are your kids? Well, Johnny is doing really good, and Susie, she hasn't been feeling well. She's been having difficulty with her studies, and that's been really stressing me out, and I don't feel good. Then all of a sudden you feel that connection. You feel that this person really trusts me. And when you have that bond with somebody, the trust and the communication and the self-love just grows, because you're confident in yourself. You have a group of friends who are there to trust you as well. Number 2, what happens when you give to yourself? You will set boundaries around yourself and love, and you will honor your needs, okay? You will only allow people into your life and into your boundaries that are good for you, that are loving you, that are authentic, and that are genuine. You're not going to be like opening up everything to, oh, this person smiled at me, I like them. Oh, this person is nice, so I'm going to be different. I'm going to be different. You're going to set boundaries for yourself and be like, if you do good to me, I will do good to you as well. You will look for the right people. You will also strengthen your boundaries and strengthen the people around you and strengthen your own self-love. Because if you do not love yourself enough and you are not confident enough, then you cannot have boundaries, because you don't know what your boundaries are. You're just like, everybody's my friend. I love everybody. And then somebody hurts you and you're like, what? And that's because it's your own fault. If somebody hurts you, it's not their fault. You let down your boundaries. You did not allow them to, go through your rules. You let them cross that fence because you were not strong enough to say, hey, wait a minute. This is not the way I should be treated. This is not the way I should be, respected. You are crossing your boundary, and this means that you and I are friends, but I'm not going to let you into my circle. So there's a lot of things that come with self-giving. A lot of things it feels like, let me see. How can I define what most people are? They say, oh yeah, self-giving is giving a manicure, is taking a nap, is doing for me. But there's a lot of things that go with self-giving. It's not just one thing. It's a whole lifestyle. It's a whole mindset. And when you don't do that, then you're not authentic and you're not happy. You're always going to be complaining. You're always going to have that burden in your head. You're always going to feel like, how come I'm the victim? How come everybody does for me and I don't get anything? And why do I give and why don't I receive? And how come that person is always happy? And how come that person has this? You'll always be comparing and you'll never be happy. You'll just be a complainer and a victim. And that's not the way you want to live, right? Okay, so now we're on to number 3. What third thing can be amazing? Sorry, I had to put my drink in. If you self-give to yourself. I mean, I am such a believer these days in self-giving. I mean, self-care, self-love, I believe in that. But the giving to yourself, I also had a closed mind and thought that it was just, when I went out with my friends, when I bought a bag, when I took a manicure. But then I realized that there's so much, right? When I started self-giving to myself, as you will, or you do, the confidence goes up. I don't care what anybody says. I've set my boundaries. I don't let everybody into my world. I only let a few people into my world. And that has really helped me, because then if I say I'm tired or I can't do this, I have friends now that are like, that's fine, do what's best for you. I don't have those friends now that are like, what? You promised, how come? Come on, you're not a good friend anymore. Next time we're not going to invite you anymore. I don't have that. I've set my boundaries so people know what they can expect from me and what I can do and what I cannot do. And I voice them. I don't keep them inside of me anymore. Because when you start keeping your things inside of you, then you start, building up the toxins and start having body aches and being unhappy and having that circle and that story all the time in your head. So number 3, what amazing thing will happen to you is you will stop looking for approval. I just talked about that, but I'll talk about it a little more. You will start respecting yourself more, because the sad thing is we don't respect ourselves. We expect approval from everybody else. If people don't approve of the way we're living our life, if the way we're eating, if the way we're dressing, or if the way we don't have a car, or of the way we raise our kids, or the way we cook, or the way we do laundry, then all of a sudden we start thinking we're not good at this. That person is better than me. But why is that person better? Maybe you fold the towels in a different way than somebody else, but but that doesn't mean that they are a better folder than you. Maybe you guys cook the same dish and she got a compliment and you didn't, but that doesn't mean you're a worse cook. It just means that that particular day, You know, she got the compliment and you didn't, but you need to be confident and know that your food is better than hers. We are looking for approval all the time, and approval leads to comparison, leads to disappointment, leads to, you know, not self-love or self-giving at all. You're not giving to yourself when you compare yourself to other people, and you're always trying to please. The people who are the people pleasers are the ones who are not giving to themselves. They say yes to everybody